Good morning, Singapore. Good morning, everyone. Dear cluster and business managers, dear representative of Singapore organizations, it's my real pleasure to welcome you all from Brussels. I do regret I couldn't be here in person, but it's fantastic to have you at what is this EU Singapore matchmaking session that is an opening for 3-day mission organized in the framework of two major trade events, the Singapore Week of Innovation Technology, Switch, and the Agri-Food Tech Expo. Let me express my special thanks to our main counterparts, Enterprise Singapore and Singapore Business Federation, the Switch and Agri-Food Tech Expo organization team, as well as our European partners, Enterprise Europe Network and European Cluster Collaboration Platform. You all work together to make this fantastic event a reality. Likewise, let me thank all representatives who traveled all the long way from Europe, who are here today. This matchmaking event is a third edition we organized with Singapore, and the second time is on site, and what we see is an ever-increasing interest from our European partners. What you have ahead of you is a very dense program with matchmaking sessions, informal business dinner, guided tour at trade shows, as well as various site visits. I think all of it will help you to get to know each other much better, to develop trust, which is so important, to doing business together. And ultimately, we believe that this event will help to build new business partnerships and investment links. Few words about the background. First of all, for the Commission, it's super important that we can actually facilitate and help such events taking place. We are the largest trading bloc and continue to be committed to the open economy. Global trade and investment, I don't need to convince you here in Singapore, is a key source of growth and resilience for our economies. And resilience, I think, is particularly important factor in these very difficult times. The business matchmaking precisely provides for actually allowing for increased market access for our businesses and make our companies to develop basically new partnerships. Secondly, I would like to emphasize the importance that we attach to the trade relationship and investment relations between the European Union and Singapore. Our free trade agreement was signed in 2019. It's a modern trade agreement, and it contributed in a very significant fashion to reducing barriers and increasing market access for our businesses. We need to make sure that both parties can fully benefit from this agreement. This matchmaking event exactly provides for actually making sure that we can implement the administrative agreement that was signed in 2020 to foster cluster and business cooperation. We have today with us 80 participants, including about 40 participants who came from Europe. Let me stress, 19 different European countries. They all signed up because they believed that by coming to Singapore, they can actually do something tangible. They can actually meet new business partners. In addition, I'm pleased to welcome the additional European clusters from the Global Food Tour project, which is a EU-funded cluster partnership that organizes in parallel a business mission for around 20 European SMEs. I think this strong business interest is the best signal of the fact that European businesses want to untap the potential of cooperation between EU and Singapore. Finally, I would also like to stress our strong commitment to continue our joint work with Singapore on SMEs and cluster collaboration. We believe that clusters, and this is the lessons learned over the last 20 years in Europe, are a fantastic tool for creating business links between our companies and especially SMEs. This sector is really strong. We have around 3,000 clusters in Europe. They allow for economies of scale. They are capable of going beyond individual companies to connect supply and value chains. They're agile, they give companies additional resilience, they give ideas of how to actually in practice foster innovation. I hope that we can continue with similar matchmaking events, and next time possibly we meet in Europe, involving both our clusters and SME networks, and I hope it would be even a bigger event than the one taking place today. Between these two events, we shall use all the instruments at our disposal to make sure that we engage cluster and SME community. And in that context, the European Cluster Collaboration Platform and Enterprise Europe Network are very important vehicles. Let me wish you really successful, gratifying events that after these 3 days, you really have a feeling, that was a worthwhile investment, that you come back, with new ideas, with new partners, with a solid foundation for future cooperation. Thank you very much again and have a fantastic time.